Hi there, Mr. Holcomb here with another episode of The Math Behind the Modules. This is Lesson 11, Angle Problems, Solving Equations. Okay, so the opening classwork exercise says in a complete sentence. Let me underline that. In a complete sentence, describe the angle relationship in the diagram. Write an equation for the angle relationship shown in the figure and solve for x. Confirm your answer by measuring the angle with a protractor. So here we go. So here's my complete sentence. The angles marked by x, 90 degrees, and 14 degrees are angles on a line. This angle plus this angle plus this angle makes this straight line, and they have a sum of 180 degrees. So now I need to, so that's my sentence. So now I need to write an equation for the angle relationship. So I would say x plus 90 plus 14 equals 180 degrees. Okay? This plus this plus this makes that. Combine like terms, which are my constants. So I leave x alone. And 90 plus 14 is 104 equals 180 degrees. Get x by itself by doing the inverse operation. Subtract 104 degrees from both sides. And when I do that, this is 0, and x plus 0 is x. And 180 minus 104 is 76 degrees. Okay, so I did that. I solved for x. Now it says confirm your answer by measuring the angle with the protractor. So now I'm going to get my protractor. Okay. I'm going to bring it down here. Set it right at what's called the vertex, best I can. A little tricky with this software. Okay. And then I'm going to rotate it. Let's see, how can I rotate this protractor? Okay, so I've rotated the protractor. And then I grab this. Let's see, where is it? There it is. I bring this down and put it right on that ray. Okay, I want to read the inside because I'm going this way. And it is at, here is 80. Okay, so I'm off a little bit, and there's 76 degrees. So if I click, there it shows 76 degrees. Okay, so I've checked with the protractor. B. See these lines up on top of this CD? Whenever you see the letters C and D and the arrow on top, you say line CD. If this said CD and it had an arrow at one end, that'd be ray CD. And if you said CD with a line with no arrows, you'd say line segment CD. So this is line CD, ray CD, segment CD. Okay? So we have to learn how to read terminology. So line CD, which is right here, and line EF, which is right here, are intersecting lines. In a complete sentence, describe the angle relationship in the diagram. Okay, so the adjacent angles marked by y degrees, right here, and 51 degrees to here, together form the angle that is vertical to the opposites. Let me draw a picture of what that says. So what they're saying is the angle that is y degrees, which is right here. Okay, I'm only going to go a little ways there. And the angle that it makes the 51 degrees, which is right here. So we're talking about this red angle. And ignore this little piece here. Okay, this is vertical to, they form vertical angles with angle C. They didn't name the center, so I can't name it. This angle here, that's 147 degrees. So it says the adjacent angles marked by y and 51 degrees together form the angle that is vertical to the opposite and equal the angle measure 147 degrees. So this red angle here, which is formed by these two angles, is vertical to this blue angle, and since they're vertical, they're congruent or equal. So then my equation is going to be y degrees plus 51 degrees equals 147 degrees. I want to know what this angle is, so I'm going to subtract 51 degrees from both sides. 51 degrees. And this cancels, and I get y degrees equals 6. 14 minus 5 is 9. So that's 96 degrees. Then it says confirm your answer by measuring with an angle protractor. So I'm going to bring this down. I'm going to put it right here on this straight line here. And then I'm going to move this. Actually, I need to rotate this so I'm on this straight line EF. So if I rotate this, so this is 180 degrees here. Okay. And then move this to this angle that made Y, which is right here. And it's right there. Okay. There's 96 degrees. I'm really close, but I could be off a little bit over here, so that's 96 degrees. If I count over to 90, and then 6 more, but if I click right here, it'll show the inside angle measure, which is 96 degrees. C. In a complete sentence, describe the angle relationship in the diagram. Write an equation for the angle relationship shown in the figure and solve for B. So we want to write a complete sentence of what's going on here, write an equation, and then confirm with the protractor. Okay, so my complete sentence, first thing it asks for, okay, in a complete sentence, describe the angle relationship. The adjacent angles marked by 59, this is 59, and 41, and B, and 65, and 90, are angles at a point together, so therefore they have a sum of 360 degrees. Okay, so now I'm going to write an equation for the angle relationship shown in figure to solve for B. So I'm going to start, I'll start right here, and I always like to work clockwise so I don't forget anything. So I'm going to start with x degrees plus 65 degrees plus B degrees plus 41 degrees plus 59 degrees equals 360 degrees. Okay, so as I was reading that, I'm constantly thinking about what I'm doing when I do a problem. And I see that I have a variable b here, and I have a variable x here. And in algebra, we generally can't solve an equation when there's two unknowns. So I have to go back and look at my diagram again, and I definitely don't know what b is, but x is, what I called x is right here, and that little square right there tells me that this is 90 degrees. So instead of putting x degrees here, I'm going to put 90. And now I'm only dealing with one unknown, which is b. So I'm going to write b first, and I'm going to combine all of my constants, which are these two and these two. So 90 plus 65 is 155, and 41 is 196, and 59 is, let's see, 196, 59, let's just do this like this, mistake, 15, 5, 255, and that equals 360 degrees. Okay? I subtract 255 degrees from both sides. Then I get b degrees equals 105 degrees. Okay, 105 degrees. So now it says to confirm your answer by measuring the angle with a protractor. So now I go get my protractor. Okay, and I'm going to move it down here, and I want to know what b degrees is, so I'm going to put it at this point here. as close as I can, and then I'm going to rotate it so that I'm on one of the rays that forms that angle, which is right there. Okay? Just trying to be really precise here. Alright? So that's where I want to be, but I'm going to be measuring over here, and I want to measure down here, so this still needs to be rotated around the other way. So right there. Now I'm going to bring this up to the other ray that forms the angle, and there it is, 105 degrees. Okay, 105. D. The following figure shows three lines intersecting at a point. In a complete sentence, describe the angle relationship in the diagram. So here it says the angles marked by Z degrees, which is this angle right here, 158 degrees, which is right here, and Z degrees, which is right here, form a straight line that's 180 degrees right there. Okay, so my equation is going to be Z degrees plus 158 degrees plus Z degrees equals 180 degrees. Okay. I'm going to combine like terms. I have two Z's plus 158 degrees equals 180 degrees. If I subtract 158 degrees from both sides, okay, I get 2Z equals 22 degrees. So if 2Z equals 22, I'll divide both sides by 2. I apologize for the lack of space. And Z equals 11 degrees. So this is 11 degrees, and this is 11 degrees. Okay, 158 plus 11 is 169, plus 11 is 180 degrees. But I still would like to confirm because it tells me to confirm with a protractor. So I'm going to go get a protractor. Oops. Protractor number. And I want to measure Z, so I'm going to put my protractor right on the vertex. I'm going to rotate it around so I'm on my line, and then I'm going to measure Z. If I bring this down to here, that is 11 degrees right there. I'm off a little bit, but this diagram is close. Okay, so there it is. Alright, so I'm going to erase this so we can read the next problem. E. Write an equation for the angle relationship shown in the figure and solve for x. So if I look over here, I see a straight line. I see an unknown here. I see 90. I see an unknown here. I have three angles that form a straight line. So it's going to be that angles on a line. Just one moment. So here's my sentence. I'm going to say that angle CPA, which is CPA right here. It's this angle here. And angle CPE, which is CPE right here. Then finally, angle EPB is right there. This angle plus that angle adds up to 180 degrees. So my equation is going to be 5x degrees plus 90 degrees. Okay, I've got a square here, that means 90, plus x degrees equals 180 degrees. 5x and x are like terms, they add up to 6x. Bring my constant down, and we get 6x plus 90 equals 90. Subtract 90 degrees from both sides, and I get 6x equals 90 degrees. Divide by 6, and I get x equals 15. Okay? So now I'm going to plug 15 in. So since CPA, the measure of angle CPA equals 5x, then the measure of angle CPA equals 5 times 15. The measure of angle CPA equals 75 degrees. So this is 15 degrees. this one is 75 degrees. 75 plus 15 equals 90, plus this 90 is 180. And I'm going to go back and get my protractor. Put it on the line, try to get it as close to that vertex as possible. There it is. Okay. And then I'm going to measure this angle here first. Okay, it's pretty close right there. There's 15. And then if I come around and rotate this so that I'm on this ray, and I move it to here to check that, there's 74, a little bit more 75. So I could be off a little bit on my diagram. It is 75 degrees. Okay, example 1. The following figure shows 3 lines intersecting at a point in a complete sentence. So you see the repetition here? Describe the angle relationship in the diagram. Write an equation for the angle relationship shown in the figure and solve for x. And then again, protract. So here's what we would say. The angle 86 degrees, the angle 68 degrees, and the angle between them, which is a vertically opposite and equal to the measure x, are angles on the line that have a sum of 180. So this one is a little bit more tricky. We didn't know this angle here. We know this is a straight line. We know that this angle plus that angle plus that angle equals 180 degrees. But then we also had to see that this line here and this line here are vertical, so they're congruent opposites. Okay? So since this is x degrees, this is x degrees. So now that's my equation. 86 degrees plus x degrees plus 68 degrees equals 180 degrees. So what I'm saying is this angle plus that angle makes this straight. Okay? So now I'm going to solve this, combining like terms. X degrees equals 6 plus 8 is 14, carry the 1, 6 plus 8 is 14, plus 1 is 154. Okay? It's not equals plus. So x degrees plus 154 degrees equals 8. Subtract 154 degrees from both sides. These cancel. I get x degrees equals 10 minus 4 is 6, 7 minus 5 is 2, 26 degrees. So that means this is 26 degrees because x is 26 degrees. And they're vertically congruent. Vertical there. Okay. So now I need to check with a protractor again. So I bring my protractor over, set it on the vertex, rotate it so I'm on this straight line right here. Okay. And then rotate this around. And then I don't want to be on the straight line. I want to measure this angle here, this one here. So that means I want to rotate it so that this is like this. So I'm on one of the rays of the angle, and this goes to the other. Okay, so now that when I check this, I'm looking at 48 degrees right here. This says 26. So somewhere there's a mistake. So 88 and 6 is 14. Carry the 1, 154, that's correct. 180 minus 154 is 26 degrees. Why is this reading 48 degrees? Am I on the right line? Okay. Okay, what I've just found here, see, I like to investigate things because that's why we check. 26 degrees is correct, but I have a problem with this diagram. It is not to scale. Because if I bring this down on this line right here, okay, and I measure over to here, is that 86 degrees? See, it's not 86 degrees, it's only going over to 74 degrees. So my diagram is off. So this is only 74 degrees right here. And it says 86, so this drawing is not to scale. Okay, next problem. Exercise 1. The following figure shows 4 lines intersecting at a point in a complete sentence. Describe the angle relationship. Okay, so now this one is saying the angle x, which is right here, angle 25 degrees, which is right here, y, which is here, and 40, which is here, are angles on a line. They form that straight line. So they have a sum of 180 degrees. The angle marked by y degrees, which is here, is vertical to this angle here. It formed an x. So this is 96, y is 96. Okay? So to solve this problem, you have to know vertical angles are congruent and angles on a line add up to 180. Two concepts. So now I'm going to set up my equation, and I'm going to say x degrees plus 25 degrees plus y degrees, but I don't want to use the y because I have an x already. We can't have two variables, but we know y is 96, so I'm going to substitute that in for y, plus 40 degrees equals 180 degrees. Combine like terms, which are all my constants. I get x degrees plus 6 plus 5 is 11, carry the 1, 5, 9 and 5 is 14, and 2 is 16, equals 180 degrees. Subtract 161 degrees from both sides, and these cancel. I get x to equal 19 degrees. So this is 19 degrees. Okay, now I'm going to check with my protractor. So if I bring my protractor down, I put it right on the vertex. I want to rotate it so the 0 is right on my line for my angle, one of the rays, and then bring the other one down to the other ray and check my solution. Okay? Alright, something's wrong with this protractor. That is saying 0 degrees. If I look here, it is 19. Okay? So let me delete this and I'll open it next time. Okay, example 2. In a complete sentence, describe the angle relationship in the diagram. The angle formed by adjacent angles A degrees and B degrees is vertically opposite to the 77 degree angle. The angles X, A, and B are adjacent, and angles have a sum of 90 degrees. Since the adjacent angle is a right angle, and together the angles are on a line. So what I need to do here is, what they're saying is, this is a straight line, this is a straight line. This is angle A degrees, and this is B degrees. That's what they're saying. These two angles make this vertical. So angle A plus angle B is 77 degrees. This whole thing is 77 because it's oppositely they're vertical. Okay? So we want to solve for x. So once I know that those are vertical, and I know this is x, and this is 77, and this is 90, my equation is going to be x degrees plus 77 degrees, which is A plus B, plus 90 degrees, and it's 90 because of that right there, equals this straight line right here is what those angles form. This is getting messy. Okay, so this plus this, which is 77, plus that, forms this straight line, 180 degrees. Combine like terms, x plus 167 degrees equals 180 degrees. Subtract 167 from both sides. These cancel. X equals 13 degrees. So this is 13. Okay, I'm going to go get my protractor. Okay, erase this mess. Put the protractor right on your vertex. Rotate it so I'm on one of the rays for that angle. Bring this over to here. And it is 13 degrees, 13 degrees, 13 degrees. Okay, so exercise 2 says in a complete sentence, describe the angle relationships in this diagram. So the measure of angles x and y have a sum of 90. Okay. And how do we know that? This is a straight line. There are 180 degrees in a straight line. This is 90. So if that's 90, 90 plus 90 equals 180. So these two have to add up to 90. Okay. The measure of angles x and 27 have a sum of 90. Again, this is a straight line. This is a 90 degree angle. So if that's 90, this has to be 90. 90 plus 90 is 180, which is a straight line. Okay, so I was just explaining what this is saying. Alright, so now it says, write an equation for the angle relationship shown in the figure to solve for x and y. Okay, so if I set it up this way, and if I say 90 plus y plus x equals 180, I can't solve that because there's an infinite number of solutions. If y is 1, x can be 89, or 2 and 88, or 3 and 87, and so on and so on. So I've got to find a way to answer this with only one unknown. So if I look at this and say that 90 plus 27 plus x equals 180, then I can solve it. And that's what I'm going to do. So 90 degrees plus 27 degrees plus x degrees equals 180 degrees. Combine like terms. 117 degrees plus x degrees equals 180 degrees. Subtract 117 degrees from both sides. And these cancel, and I get x degrees equals 8, 7, 10 minus 7 is 3, 7 minus 1 is 6. So x equals 63 degrees. So I don't want to use that degrees. X equals 63 degrees. Okay? So I will write that here. This is 63 degrees. But guess what? Now I can find y, because this is 90 degrees. So I can say 90 plus y plus 63 equals a straight line, which is 180 degrees. So it's going to be 90 degrees plus y degrees plus 63 degrees equals 180 degrees. 90 plus 63 are my like terms. 90 plus 63 is 153 degrees equals 180 degrees. Subtract 153 degrees from both sides. And I get these to cancel. And I get y equals 10 minus 3 is 7, 7 minus 5 is 2, so y is 27 degrees. Okay, next it says to confirm using a protractor, so I will do that one more time. Okay, so I'm going to bring in my protractor. I need to rotate it 180 degrees. And I need to set it right on this line. Okay. So, if I want to know what y degrees is, I'll have to move this. So let's do the x first. So x is right here. Okay. And here's 60 plus 3. So that does say 63 degrees, so that checks. Okay. Now I want to rotate this and put this line on one of the rays that forms y, which is right here, and then move this down to the other ray that forms y. So here's my angle y right here, and that comes out to be there's 27 degrees right there. Okay? There's 27 right there. And that's what I have, 27 degrees. Example 3. In a complete sentence, describe the angle relationships in the diagram. Okay? So here that says the sum of the degree measures of angle JAH. JAH is right here. GAH is here. And GAF is here. Okay? And the arc that subtends angle JAF is 360 degrees. So this is an arc, that's a big word, subtends. An arc that subtends angle JAF is 360 degrees. Okay, so here's what subtends means. Of a line, arc, or figure form an angle at a particular point when a straight line forms its extremities are joined at that point. Okay, so subtend just means that a point where straight lines form its extremities are joined at that point and it forms an angle. Okay, angle or arc. Okay, so those are 1, 2, 3, and then this big angle, which is more than 180 degrees, totals 360. So that is an angle at a point. There are angles at a point, so we know they add up to 180 degrees. So if I start at this location here and work my way clockwise, okay, I don't want to use an X, start at this point and work clockwise around, I would say 2x plus, this is 90 degrees, plus 3x plus this big arc right here, 225 degrees, all add up to a full circle rotation of 360 degrees. If I combine my like terms, I have constants and I have variables. So 2x plus 3x is 5x, and 90 plus 225 is 315, equals 360 degrees. I'm trying to get x by itself, so I'm going to subtract first. Subtract 315 degrees from both sides. These cancel, and I get 5x equals 45, divide by 5, divide by 5, cancel, I get x equals 45 divided by 5, okay? Confirm your answer by measuring. Well, I haven't answered yet. Find the measure of angle JAH. So I would say the measure of angle JAH equals JAH is 2x. X is 9. So the measure of angle JAH is 2 times 9. So the measure of angle JAH is 8 degrees. Okay? So there's JAH. I answered that. Now find the measure of GAF. The measure of angle GAF equals, here's G, here's A, here's F, so it's this angle, 3x. So therefore, the measure of angle GAF, substitute my x that I found, which is 9. So the measure of angle GAF is 27 degrees. Okay. Bring in my compass. I will confirm this one first, so I put it here. Bring this up to G. It's about there, and that is the inside here 10, 25, 6, 7 degrees, 27 degrees, so that checks. In order to check the other one, I did not want to do that. I want to rotate it and put it on the line segment AJ, like that, and move this as my segment array AH. Okay, and if I look at out here, 10, 15, 16, 17, okay, 18. 18 is 2 less than 20, and I got 18, so that checks. Okay. Exercise 3. In a complete sentence, describe the angle relationship in this diagram. Okay, so here goes. The sum of the degree measures of L, K, J, which is here, J, K, G, which is here, and G, K, M, which is this 90-degree angle, and the arc that subtends L, K, M, okay, subtends, okay, so that arc right there, that's adds up to 360 degrees, okay? So now we're going to set up our equation. So I'm going to start here and work my way clockwise so I don't miss it. So 24 degrees plus, next one is x degrees, plus 90 degrees, plus this large arc of 5x degrees, equals a full circle rotation of 360 degrees. Okay, 24 and 90 are my constants. X and 5x are my x's that are like terms. 5x plus x is 6x. 90 plus 24 is 114. And they equal 360 degrees. Okay? I'm going to subtract 114 from both sides. And when I do that, these cancel, and I get 6x equals. 6 becomes 5, 10 minus 4 is 6, 5 minus 1 is 4, 3 minus 1 is 2. Okay. Divide by 6, x equals, 6 goes into 24 4 times, 6 goes into 6 once, so I got x to equal 41. So that answers this question. This is 41 degrees. So JKG is 41, and this is 5 times 41. I'm just saving time now. 5 times 1 is 5, 5 times 4 is 20. That is 205 degrees. 205 plus 24 is 229, plus 41 is 270, plus 90 is 360 degrees. Okay, then it says check your answer with a protractor. I will not do that again. You've seen it last time. Example 4. In the accompanying diagram, the measure of DBE is 4 times the measure of FBG. FBG. So this is 4 times as big as green is 4 times as big as blue. Label DBE as y degrees, and label FBG as x degrees. Well, they've done that for us. Write an equation that describes a relationship between them. Okay, so I would say the measure of angle, and what does it say? DBE is 4 times. So the measure of angle DBE equals 4 times the measure of angle FBG. Okay, this is 4 times as big as that. So now I know DBE is y. Y equals 4x. Okay, so it says label DBE as y and FBG as x. They did that for us. Write an equation that describes a relationship between them. So I said y equals 4 times x. And now it says to find the y. Okay, well, we have vertical angles here. So since DEE, if I drew a straight line from here over again and a straight line this way, this angle and that angle are equal, so I can call that Y, and this is 50 degrees. So to find the value of X, first I can say X plus Y plus 50 equals 360 equals 180 degrees. Okay, because this is a straight line. This piece plus that piece form it. So that's X plus Y plus 50 equals 180. But I have two unknowns and I can't solve for two unknowns. But I know Y equals 4X. So I'm going to say X plus 4X. Instead of saying Y, I'm going to substitute in 4X plus 50 equals 180 degrees. Combine like terms. Okay, and then subtract 50 from both sides, and I get 5x equals 130 degrees. Divide by 5, divide by 5, x goes in, 5 goes into 13 two times, the remainder of 3, so 5 goes into 36 times, so x is 26, and that's what it asked for, and we are done this portion, x equals 26. Now it says to find the measure of angle FBG. So the measure of angle FBG equals FBG equals X. So therefore the measure of angle FBG equals 126 degrees. Okay. The measure of angle CBD equals CBD equals FBA, which was Y, and Y is 4X, so I'm doing two substitutions, okay? Y equals 4X, so I can call this 4X, right? I have a straight line here. Get rid of all this 8 first. It's getting messy. Okay, so now they're asking us to find CBD. If I drew this straight line here, I know these three add up to 180 degrees, and this is 4x, because 4x equals 1, yes. And we don't know what this is. Okay, but we know x is 26. So I'm going to say the measure of CBD is 4x plus 50 plus some other unknown. I'm going to call it y. Or how about c? So 4x plus 50 degrees plus c. So I'm going to call this c. I can't call it x because we don't know that that's equal to that. Or do we? Here's another straight line. These are vertical, so I will call it x. They are congruent. Okay? And these are the things that you have to think about and look at when you're doing these problems. Okay, so I can call that x because it's vertical to FDG, and that is x. So this is x. So this is 4x plus 50 plus x is the measure of angle CBD. So the measure of angle CBD equals 4 times x, which is 26, plus 50 plus 26, which is x. So the measure of angle CBD. Okay, what I'm saying here though is the measure of angle FBD, which is a straight line, so this is all incorrect. The measure of CBD is just simply x. Okay, so think about what you're doing at all times. Catch your mistakes. Okay, and move on. X is equivalent to x. X is 26, so therefore CBD is 26 degrees. Okay. And then finally, the measure of angle GBE. Where is it? GBE is here. It's vertical to ABC, so I will say they're equal. And so therefore the measure of angle GBE equals the measure of angle ABC, which is 50 degrees. And finally, the measure of angle DBE equals DBE is y, which is 4x. So the measure of angle DBE equals 4 times my x, which was 26. So the measure of angle DBE equals 104 degrees. Okay. What is the measure of angle ABG? So I have to go back up here. We can erase all this. Measure of angle, what did they ask for? ABG. Here's A, here's B, here's G. Okay, I found Y to be 4x. So this is 104 degrees. So therefore this is 104 degrees because they are vertical. Okay, so it's 104 degrees plus this piece, which was 26. So I'm going to say it algebraically first. The measure of angle ABG equals the measure of angle FBG FBG plus the measure of angle FBA. Okay, so the measure of angle ABG equals FBG, which was x, and the other one was 4x, so I'm going to say that. X plus 4x, the measure of angle ABG equals 5x. So therefore the measure of angle ABG equals 5 times my x, which was 26. And the measure of angle ABG equals 5 times 26, which is 100 degrees. Okay, that's the end of lesson 11. It was a very lengthy lesson. Hope you're problem solving.